Well, a very good morning and welcome to another video. Today we are off to Guernsey on board the Condor Ferry's day return. Condor Ferry operate day returns from Poole on selected days for just £36. So I thought, why not? Let's have a day trip to Guernsey. So I'm starting my day here in Southampton, as Southampton hotels I found to be cheaper. I got the Ibis budget, which is about 3 minutes walk from Central Station, for about £40 for the night. There's a train from here at 6:22 in the morning that arrives into Poole at 7:27, and then the ferry then leaves at 8:45, so plenty of time to connect with the ferry. So yes, let's go to the station now and hop on the train towards Poole. And so we are now on the train, the 0622 South Western Railway service to Weymouth. I'm getting off at Poole, as I said. A journey on a priv is about £4.30, I think I paid return. That's return. So if you are not on a priv, it will cost you 75% more. Although you can get railcard discounts and you might be able to get an advance for this service, I'm not too sure. That's something you have to check up on. It's not too long, it's about 50 minutes, 45-50 minutes from here to Poole, so not an extremely long journey. When I get to Poole, it's around 10-minute walk to the quay where the ferry will depart. You do have to check in 40 minutes before departure, at least 40 minutes before departure of the ferry, so getting in at 7:27 gives me plenty of time to walk to the quay. So yes, I'm now on the train all the way to Poole. I've now arrived into Poole Station. It's a short 10-15 minutes walk now to Poole Quay. Here's where I board the ferry. If you want to get something to eat or drink before you leave, there is a Asda that is opposite the station. You should have enough time to go in there and quickly get something. If not, I do presume that the ferry will have something on board, because it's quite a big ferry across to Guernsey. So yes, let's walk over to the quay. So it's quite a straightforward route to walk from Poole Station to Poole Quay. If you say on the same platform you arrive on, there is an exit. Turn left there onto the main road and just keep going straight down West Quay Road. We're going to go over a bridge in a second, and just over the bridge we'll turn left and we'll see the quay of where the ferry would depart from. Please don't get it confused with Poole Harbour. The ferry to Guernsey does not depart from Poole Harbour, it will depart from Poole Quay. So it is very important that you go to the right place for your ferry departure. As I said, it's only about a 10 to 15 minutes walk, depending on how quick you are at walking, and there is an Asda en route if you want to get some refreshments. There's also a Subway there, and it did look open as I walked past. So you've got a Subway and an Asda. So yes, quite a straightforward route to get from the station to the quay. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any information on any transport buses or anything there. So if you're not able to walk the 10 minutes, it'll have to be a taxi for you. But yeah, we've decided to walk, and I decided to walk, and we're now on our way to quay. Now arrived into the ferry terminal here, the quay or Gondor. Your e-ticket you need to check in at the check-in desk, and you will receive your boarding card. You are required to have some photograph ID. It doesn't have to be a passport, I just use my driving licence, so you can just use a driving licence if you want to. So I'm just in the queue now to go through security and onto the ferry. And so we are now on the ferry across to Guernsey. A journey time of about 3 hours to go across the channel. I have decided to go to the Horizon Bar, which is a slight upgrade on your ticket. You get a reclining seat here and a private cafe bar area. And the announcement's going to go. So yeah, there is a cafe bar on here, there is a restaurant on here that does food, hot food, if you wanted to get your breakfast or lunch on here. So now we're going to sit back, relax and enjoy our crossing across the Channel Islands, across to the Channel Islands of Guernsey. So I've now arrived alongside St. Peter's Port here in Guernsey. Ferry arrived about on time, a little bit early. It takes about 10 minutes before you're allowed to disembark whilst they get the foot passenger stairwells and everything all ready for us. I'm now on the island. If you're doing a day trip like I have today, you will be here for about 7 hours. The ferry back is at 7:25 this evening, and it is just gone 12 o'clock now. You do have check-in no later than 40 minutes before, so you've got about 7 hours here. I'm going to explore the island a bit, take some of the buses around the island to explore, but so you could spend a whole day here if you want to do it in St. Peter's Port. So I just got across the road here one moment. As I said, the ferry crossing itself was £36 for the day return. I upgraded on the way out here to the Horizon Lounge, where I got a reclining seat, a slightly quiet area of the boat, and a panoramic view of the boat, because I was right down the front of the boat, and that cost me an extra £10.95 in advance, or £12.95 if you want to upgrade on the day. You get access to an exclusive bar, but that doesn't sell hot food. The hot food is in the standard area of the ferry. You can upgrade to the Club Lounge for £37.50, and that gets you complimentary Wi-Fi, complimentary refreshments and a leather seat. So if you wanted to splash out a bit more, you can upgrade for that. All these fares are each way, it doesn't include your return. So on the way back, I'm going to sample the standard seating on the way back. So now I've got 7 hours here to explore the island, and I'm sure I'm going to make the most of it, like I always do. And the weather's taken a turn for the worst. It started to rain. Oh no! So I'm here at Lorraine, I think that's how you pronounce it. Lorraine. I'm going to go along now from here, along the coast, long way round back to St. Peter's Port. I took the 94 here, which was pretty much direct. Not a bad little route. From here, take the 91 all the way around the island back to St. Peter's Port. I was going to spend some time here, explore, but I think because the weather's a bit wet and damp, I'm going to continue just a little bit earlier than planned. So let's see how it goes. So I am now back in St. Peter's Port, bus terminus. I did the 91 all the way around the coast back to here at St. Peter's, followed by the 81 to Cherbourg and back again. I was going to get off in Joburg and have a little look around, but the weather was very, very poor. It was raining, so I decided not to. It was a very nice country route, some country lanes, so I decided to stay on, come straight back. I'm just waiting now for the 71 at 16:05 because it does a slight variation to the other 71s that run. I'm going to take that all the way to the airport before coming back here. And it'll be a spot of dinner and then on to the port for the ferry back to Poole. It's been a great day so far, just a shame about the weather and the rain. A little time now to tell you about the tickets. You can get a day ticket here on the island, all island buses, including services to the airport, and it will cost you £7.50, and they only take contactless payments on the bus. There is a travel centre here at Town Terminus where you can pay by cash if you wish to buy a ticket in cash. They also have a key card system, like an Oyster card type smart card system, that you can preload money onto that and pay for your bus journeys like that. I'm not too sure if you can like pay a cash ticket or you have to have one of these cards you put money on. I've just opted for the contactless on the bus and paid £7.50 for the day ticket. Buses have been pretty reliable so far, no delays. There are some cancellations at the moment due to driver shortages, so do check that your one isn't cancelled. It's all on the buses.gg website. So yeah, I'm now going to enjoy a long trip around the island to go to the airport. So, as the weather has now sort of dried up a little bit, I was going to have an hour here in St. Peter's to go around and have a little look. But, as I was on the bus back from the airport, I got a text message from the ferry company telling me that the boat will now depart at 18:30 rather than 19:30, which is an hour before the original time. They only sent me this text at 17:07 this evening, so it was a very last minute decision to make the ferry depart 1 hour earlier. So I think that's a poor show from the ferry company in my opinion, because I could have been anywhere on the island and potentially missed the ferry. Luckily, I'm now back at St. Peter's, and I can go to St. Peter's Port, sorry. And then it's only 25 to 6 now, so I can still make the ferry. But I could have been anywhere on the island, and changing the time, that last minute is very, very poor in my opinion. So I'll have to leave looking around Guernsey till next time. The weather was very bad, as I said, so I just did a few of their bus routes around the island to explore the island by bus today. Next time I endeavour to look around a bit more, maybe on foot, maybe do a tour or something. But today was been good, despite the weather. I better get back to the ferry terminal now and see what's going on. So, off to ferry terminal and back to Poole, it looks like. See you then. So it's now coming on to 6:45 and we're still not on the boat. We're just walking to the boat now, so I'm not too sure what's going on. They told us to get there an hour early and it wasn't an hour early, and now it's not an hour early, and we'll probably end up leaving about the same time as we were done in the first bloody place. But hey ho, we are getting on the ferry now, back to Poole. From there, I've got to take a train to Bournemouth and then a coach to Heathrow Airport. And usually I'll explain all a bit later in the video about what I'm doing. Obviously what I'm doing it on the cheap and doing the cheapest way possible, but there are other ways of doing it, which I'll explain later once I'm on the ferry, or off the ferry. So we have now left port in Guernsey and heading over to Poole again. We were given a reason to why we were asked to come back earlier. Basically, there was mist and it was very foggy, and the relief crew for the ferry got sent back to Southampton. So they couldn't get to us, basically. So they asked us to be here an hour early so we can get underway. So the crew of this boat now can stay on the boat and not run out of their hours of working. So hopefully we can get back to Poole before their hours run out. We ended up only leaving about 20 minutes earlier than the original departure time by the time they got everybody on the boat and everything. Journey time back across about 3 hours from Guernsey to Poole, and we should be on time into Poole. So when I get back to Poole, I am heading back towards London. So I'm taking the last train, or one of the last trains, I think there's a couple more after, to Bournemouth, the overnight coach to Heathrow, which was cheaper, and you can get the N9 in from Heathrow. If you want to stay on the coach, there was a fare to London on the coach from Bournemouth. It was slightly more expensive to do so. If not, you can spend another night in Poole, which is quite expensive. So the cheapest way for me was to get the coach back. Coach sent me back about £30, which is not too bad. So now I'm going to enjoy the crossing back to Poole. So I've now arrived back on dry land in Poole. We've arrived back early as we left early, but because of a ferry that had just arrived before us, that had to do customs for us, obviously. So we were sat in port on the ferry, not allowed to disembark for about half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour. So in the end, we ended up coming off the ferry about the same time as we would have done at our original departure time. So a bit of faffing about tonight, but all in all was no problems. I've still got just under an hour to walk to the station for my train to Bournemouth. Now, I did say earlier I did upgrade on the way out there for the Horizon Lounge, and this evening I chose to sit in the standard seating. To be honest with you, there wasn't a lot of difference apart from the reclining seat. There wasn't a lot of difference at all. So is it worth the £10 extra just to have a recline? £11 extra just to have the recline? I'm not too sure. Although it was quite nice in the morning to have quite a bit of daylight come through, as it's right down the front. So I'll let you decide whether it was worth the extra. To me, if I did it again, I probably would just go for standard seating in the ferry. Anyway, I'm off back to Poole, and then on to Bournemouth, as I've said many times now. My train from here went over and go the right way. My train from here now is at 23:54. It takes 10 minutes to get to Bournemouth, and then my coach from there to Heathrow is at midnight 30. So yep, back to London it is. And so I am now arrived into Bournemouth. And this is where I'm going to end the video. I think I've covered pretty much most of my day here, and all what's left is for me to take the 204 back to Heathrow. From here, which will then go on to a different trip. I'm running a bit low on memory, so I probably will not document this European trip this time, just because the memory is quite low at the moment on my phone, and I won't be home to download stuff, etc, etc. So I think on this occasion I won't be documenting my European trip this time. But yes, I've had a fantastic day nonetheless today. A few hiccups along the way, but hey ho, that's what goes along with travelling, and that's the joys of travelling itself. Don't forget, if you do like my videos, please do subscribe, and if you want to see more like this, please do comment. I know the last video the music was quite loud, so I endeavour to make sure the music is a bit lower on this video. If you think the music's just a complete waste of time, just let me know and I will stop putting music on there. I am no professional here. I don't have time to edit. I am way too busy to spend hours on computers editing and stuff. So it is just a quick phone jobby that I do. So please do forgive me if the music isn't just scratch. I just don't have time to go around editing. So it's very minimal effort put into the editing, I'm afraid. Anyway, until the next video, goodbye.